Hello, everybody, and welcome to Episode 8 of the Calypso Cigar Review. Today we are here in the lovely Calypso Cigar Shop and Lounge in Richardson, Texas, once again.
Here we are.
And it's Brandon Luna and
Randy Rankin.
That's right. In stereo.
In stereo.
Well, in mono, but...
Mono stereo.
Mono stereo, yes.
Yes.
It's a new thing. So today...
We made it to the Ocho.
Yes, the Ocho.
The Ocho.
The Ocho. I love the
Was
Ocho.
that dodgeball?
Yeah. Pepper needs new shorts. So today we are reviewing something we're doing a little bit different today. We're actually reviewing one of our favorites that we've talked about probably on every single podcast that we've done.
Seems that way, yes.
We're reviewing the JDN Joya de Nicaragua Dark Corojo.
Yes.
And
Yummy.
it is a yummy, strong, full-bodied cigar, full-flavored cigar. It's a man's cigar.
It is.
It is.
It will put hair on your chest.
Yeah, if you are a noob to cigars, I would probably not recommend that you try it unless you want to throw up. So
one of the reasons that we, other than the fact that it's our one of our favorites, is that we wanted to review this, is because a lot of people know about it but are afraid to try it. And I think it's because it's an Antano, and I think the 1970, a lot of mild cigar smokers tried the Antano 1970 and were just had their doors blown off. And so I think they've kind of been hesitant to try this cigar. Mm-hmm. And while this is also obviously full body and very strong, I think it has a lot more flavor.
Yeah, I agree.
Than the Antano 1970.
For sure. This is it's a beautiful cigar too. It's a medium price cigar. It's what, $6-7?
The Corona's $5.75 here.
$5.75.
Right.
Give me 10.
I'm smoking the Toro, and it's a little pricier. It's box press. It's 6x52. Mm-hmm. And I think it's in the $8.50 range. Okay,
so you got the Toro. I've got the what would be considered the Corona, Pelagroso, which is a 5x44. Mm-hmm. Look of it, I mean, it's got a great dark wrapper on it. Not necessarily a whole lot of oiliness. You know, it's not an oily wrapper by any stretch of the imagination, but it is a really pretty wrapper. Minimal veins. There's a couple of large ones, but nothing that's really, there's no sticks sticking out of it or anything like that. So it's definitely got some great construction.
Mine has no veins on it at all.
Oh, yeah? Mine has a couple. That's not a big deal. And like we said, veins are veins. They're part of the cigar. Right. It's not, the end of the world to see veins on a cigar. It doesn't mean it's a bad cigar.
Right.
Bad cigar is when it falls apart when you cut it and start smoking it. So I've never had one of these do that.
Never.
These are great construction-wise. Now, Joya de Nicaragua is one of those brands that's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
And recently acquired by Drew Estate, so they're part of that. They're under that umbrella now.
Right.
So also, if you're a Drew Estate fan, you don't know that, a whole other thing you can try there. If you haven't been familiarizing yourself with them, they're great cigars.
They really are. I'm going to light mine up.
Okay, I'm going to cut and light mine. Yes, I'm going to cut it here so you can hear that we actually are smoking cigars. God dang, man, you lit the crap out of that thing.
With a soft flame, though. That was
a freaking gigantic.
But look at it. It's not charred in the least. I did a great job with that light.
All right, whatever.
I'm a pro, dude.
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
I mean, even the cold draw on this is
I had a great cold draw.
Spicy, a little bit of cocoa to it. It's great.
If you're someone who just wants to sit around and chew on a cigar, this is
this
a
would
nice
be a great
choice as well.
I had an uncle, Uncle Che, growing up that would chew on cigars, and he would probably be a big fan of this cigar, I bet.
I know I am.
I am too. This is one of my go-tos. I'm probably going to return to it now after smoking this one because it's been a little while since I've had one.
You will. I had a lull in my Dark Corojo experience for a while, and about the last month or so, I'm right back on them. Love this cigar. Very smoky taste to it.
Yeah, it does have that kind of, like they smoked the leaves or something, and sitting by the barbecue pit. It's got almost like a campfire kind of thing going on.
Yeah, very much so.
So first draw, you get that campfire kind of charred flavor, coupled with a little bit of spice, but there's really not. Now this is, to me, I'm a seasoned smoker, so there's not a lot of spice going on for me. Some people might get hit with that right off the bat, but you just get a mountain of flavor. I mean, it's just, coming at you like hardcore, more so than most cigars that I can think of that I smoke on a daily basis. This one just really is I would consider it, classify it as a flavor bomb.
Yep. Very well put. I've liked this cigar from the word go. I mean, the first one I smoked, I've loved it, and I've loved it ever since. I've never regretted smoking one. It's never been like, I've had too many of those lately. I don't really need. No, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
This could be a daily smoke for me.
I think the only reason I stopped smoking them when I did was because I ran out. I just started smoking through other stuff that I had. But yeah, smoking this today is going to be bad for me because I'm going to have to get some more.
Yeah, I could smoke 2 of these a day, easy, and would not tire of it at all.
Yeah, that's a good smoke. A lot of people might consider this a midday to later in the evening smoke, have it after dinner or whatever. I would definitely recommend that if you haven't smoked it before, or have a nice sugary drink with you, or maybe even some chocolate if you get a little lightheaded when you smoke the stronger stuff. But I don't really think it's that strong. I mean, they say it's a full bodied smoke. I think it's full flavored, but not necessarily. It's
pretty strong. I would think for a noob, especially if you've been smoking for over 6 months a year and your palate's developed, then I think you'll find it more full flavored than full body.
Okay, I guess that's where I am then, because to me it's not as full body. I mean, now the first time I had this was about 3 months into smoking cigars, and it did kick my butt. It was one of those ones where I was like, God, this tastes great. It's got a lot of flavor. It's awesome. And then, you stand up and you get that little woozy feeling like, okay, I better sit back down. This is going to, But I also smoked the bigger, it was like a 60 little short guy.
Yeah, the Grand Console, I think.
Yeah, the Grand Console. Yeah, that thing just kicked my butt. But still full of flavor. And I think these have more flavor in them. The Corona and probably the one you have as well have more flavor than that Grand Console, because you're looking at more filler and binder in that one.
Right. And it must be said, I've smoked the Robusto size, which is called the Azarosa, which is, I think, the 4.5 by 52. My favorite is the one that Brandon is smoking, the Pelagroso, the Corona 5 by 44. This is my first time to try the Toro size, this box press Toro. So while I have had the Dark Corojo before, I've never had this size.
Yep. And it bears repeating, if we haven't said it before, that if you like a cigar, smoke it in the various sizes. Even if you're primarily, like, say, a Robusto guy or a Corona guy, try the different sizes in the particular cigars that you like, because it will be a different experience for you. You're talking about more filler, more binder, less filler, less binder.
Right.
It's going to be similar. You're still going to have a lot of the same characteristics that you love about the cigar, but it's going to take you to a different place. Yeah. And, especially if you like with this cigar, I want the strongest version of this cigar. I'm probably going to smoke the Corona.
Right.
Because you're talking about less filler, less binder, more wrapper, and a lot more flavor and power.
Yeah. I can already tell you that my first couple of puffs on the Toro tasted exactly like the Pelagroso. I got the exact same flavor bomb, the intensity of it. It's mellowed out pretty quickly already. At this point of the Corona, I would still be getting some of that.
Yeah.
It's starting to mellow out a little bit on me.
Yeah, I've still got a lot of that flavor, and the power is still there. And look at that razor sharp burn. I mean, you guys,
dead on.
You can't see this, but man, it's a ridiculously great burn.
You could
on this
take
cigar.
a picture of it with your iPhone.
I could do that. I think I will do that. And then I'll post it up on the
slideshow.
Technology.
Man, that's how you use technology.
You are just using your brain today, sir.
Technology on the fly.
Technology on the fly. I am now taking a picture of this live.
I've used my brain already once today, so now I'm good. I don't have to use it anymore.
That picture looks like crap. Stupid flash. I hate the automatic flash on the iPhone. It just really jacks stuff up. See if I can get this to a better... Use the light from the laptop. There you go. You get to see a little bit of our setup here too as well when I show this later. Excellent.
Good deal.
Yep. Now we did eat before we smoked these.
Yeah, and I do recommend that.
Yeah.
Very much so.
You're gonna smoke this on an empty stomach. You're probably gonna want to have that sugar drink.
Your life into your own hands.
Because it'll get you. That nicotine will just slap you right in the ass. Now, I do want to stress that we do actually smoke on this podcast. We are at the Calypso Cigar. Calypso Cigar?
We are at the Calypso Cigar Lounge.
That's a new word. I just made it up. We are at the Calypso Cigar Shop and Lounge, and we do actually sit in the lounge area, cut and smoke the cigars as we review them. So that's good to know for you guys out there. I know there is some podcasts out there that don't do that. They're in a studio, they can't smoke, or I know there's one guy that's very popular that basically goes outside. You don't get to experience it with him. He comes back and talks about it, which it's not the same.
No, not really.
This way you're getting to hear it with us while we smoke the cigar. Now, that's going to be a little bit different today because we're smoking different sizes, so I'm going to get to my first third before he will. Probably going to just time it based on me.
Yeah, we'll base it on you.
Okay.
Because I'll be finished. I mean, I'll be finishing this after the podcast. I can already tell you that.
Correct. Yeah.
This has got to be an hour and 20-minute smoke.
Pretty easy, pretty simple, yeah.
Yeah.
I would say that's a good guesstimation
And
on that.
that Pelagros is a good 45 to 55 minute
Mm-hmm.
cigar.
Yep. I may be done before
Depending on how
before
hard
the
you
podcast
pull.
is over, yeah.
Yeah.
I tend to smoke a little faster sometimes. It just depends. I try and slow myself down. And we should talk about that, about how you should smoke a cigar. The general rule of thumb on smoking cigars is you want to take about a puff a minute. That way you give it a little bit of time to, get those flavors kind of working, and you're not going to rush it and burn through it. Number one, it's going to cause the cigar to get hot. And once the cigar gets hot, it gets uncomfortable to smoke.
It's very unpleasant.
You lose a lot of the flavors because you're just basically burning through them. So try and, get to where you, take a puff a minute. If you have to set it down, set it down. When I was starting and I heard that rule, I actually timed it on my phone, just to, because I want to learn to kind of gauge what the time is. And that was a good way for me to learn that. And you get to where you can kind of just do it on your own after a while.
If I were to guess, because I've never timed myself, I'm probably every 45 to 55 seconds. I don't think I go a full minute, but I'm close. I know, in puffing that I certainly do not want to get it to burn hot.
Well, then you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong, sir.
Time doesn't work in my life the way it works in yours, apparently.
Oh, no.
No, but it is. And, the minute is great. And I figure 45 to a minute, you're doing good. You will not cause your cigar to burn hot in that time frame at all.
I've had to put this down a couple times because I'm, I haven't had one in a while, so I just really am excited about smoking it, and I just want to smoke. But it's going to get hot on me, and I'm going to finish it too fast. So
just don't machine gun puff.
No, I'm not going to machine gun puff, and nor will I let it go out, which, I try not to do that ever. I'm usually pretty good about not letting it go out. And a good cigar will stay lit for a couple minutes just sitting on the ashtray there. So...
Absolutely. My burn was, I had to correct my burn.
Oh, you messed up your burn?
Just a little bit, but I think it'll catch up. It was just a tiny imperfection, so I wanted to kind of help it along.
Yeah, mine's still pretty much razor sharp.
Yours is pretty sharp.
Looking delicious and beautiful.
Absolutely.
Yep. So this is number 8 for us. We're rounding up to get to 10.
Yes,
we're going to do something special for 10?
We might. We might have to do something.
So wait, next?
That might be the Garrison brothers. Might be. No, might not be.
Booze it up. That'll be special.
Might. That is an episode that's coming up, so keep your ears listening to future podcasts when we'll give you an actual date of when this episode will air. But we're going to have the Garrison brothers in. They're a Texas bourbon distillery here in Texas. And yes, you can have bourbon made in Texas. And they're going to be here at the Calypso, or Dan Garrison's going to be here at the Calypso shop and let us taste it. So that's going to be fun.
Awesome. We are going to go through a bottle, I would imagine.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
With any luck. Yeah.
Just you and me, though.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
What are you talking about?
That's the challenge right there.
Absolutely.
What do they cut? What size do those things come in? I don't
It's
think I've ever seen. Okay.
It's just, the 0.75 milliliters.
Yeah,
it's a pricey bourbon, but it's good. I have had one sample of it. It's really good. I'm looking forward to reviewing it.
That will be fun.
It'll be some. And we're gonna have some great cigars to pair with it. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun event.
Drunken fun at the Calypso Cigar Shop and Lounge. Oh yeah, good stuff.
Absolutely.
I don't think that food's agreeing with me, man. My stomach's going crazy here.
I heard a little rumble there. What was that?
On a last podcast we did, I had my stomach made this like crazy loud noise, and I did everything I could to not crack up laughing. You can hear it if you have headphones on.
Really?
And you're listening to that episode, you can hear it.
Is that what that was? I did hear something. Okay, yeah. That was you. Wow.
Yep.
And we must mention that we are on iTunes. You can catch us on iTunes, YouTube, Podomatic, Slam Internet Radio.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting
Spreaker. Yeah.
We're getting lots of views. We're getting positive feedback on the Cigar Forums.
Mm-hmm.
Really having a lot of fun doing this. We appreciate you guys listening.
It's a blast, and we've been putting out some info out there on the different various forums to try and get some feedback from them as far as offering up ideas. What do they want us to review? What do they like about the show? What do we need to work on? One of the things I did was I actually put up a poll on stogiefriends.com because there are a lot of people that just love the Liga cigars. We call them Liga whores. Mm-hmm. And I can say that because we're going to rate this adult.
Right.
We're now cussing every time.
Right.
And, they just really love the Liga product, and it's a Drew Estate product, which, this is relevant because, we are smoking a Drew Estate product. Yeah. And I asked the question on Stogie Friends, what is your favorite Liga cigar. And I listed, the 9, the 52, a bunch of the Unico stuff. I think I even listed the Undercrown, even though technically it's not, but it's still listed as Liga Privada on a lot of...
It's in the family.
Yeah, it's in that family.
Yeah.
And I figured that the 9 would win hands down because everybody always talks about how much
That's
they
the one
love
everyone
the 9.
wants.
Yeah, it's the 9, the 9, the 9, this, 9, that, 9, this, 9, that. And,
Can I guess? Do I know? I don't know the answer. Can I guess?
Yeah, go for it.
It was a Unico, I'm betting.
It was a Unico, yes.
I'm going to go... I'm torn. I'm going to go Dirty Rat.
That's what you think, huh?
Yeah, that's my guess. My other guess is going to be Feral Flying Pig, but...
You're never going to guess what the winner was.
What? The Uzi?
Nope.
No? What?
The L40.
Oh, you know why? Because I've never seen it. I've never had it. So it's never been in my consciousness.
And it brings us back to the conversation of Lanceros. That, cigar aficionados, people that like cigars, tend to really like Lanceros.
Yep.
But they don't sell. Most places just don't carry them because they're just, weird. They're one of those cigars that you look at and you think, it's kind of girly. I don't really want to smoke that. And
you don't look like a badass for sitting there smoking a long, skinny cigar.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, let's face it, that's why a lot of people are smoking cigars, is to impress the people they're around.
Unless you're in a Western, then it's okay.
Right. And and we've had a couple of reps already say that for some reason in Texas, everyone likes the 60 ring gauge. Everything's bigger in Texas thing. Mm-hmm. But Lancero and Corona, by far, hands down, my two favorite sizes.
Yeah, they definitely are. And
that's why I guess Dirty Rat, because I figured it's going to be a smaller ring gauge.
I figured it was going to be the Dirty Rat or the 9. I thought those are the two that I hear the most coming from people that they really love. Mm-hmm. And I was just blown over by this. I mean, that's my favorite also, just because it has all the flavor that I expected to get from the 9 that really wasn't getting. So, yeah, that's just kind of one of those fun things.
But it's interesting. But yeah, I would have, before, I would have said 9 too, but when you'd already kind of led me to believe that it wasn't going to be a 9, so I knew it was going to be a Unico, but I did not think about the L40.
Yep, which is pretty hard to get actually. So that's kind of, I think there might be some mysticism there attached to it. The fact that they can't get it, and, it makes it taste even sweeter when you do finally have it. Maybe, I don't know. But anyway, we're rounding up to the end of the first third here, so we're going to go ahead and wrap up this third, and we'll come back for the second third.
See you at the end.
Stick with us. We are back, everybody, with the second third of the Joya de Nicaragua Dark Corojo. I am smoking the Corona size. You are smoking what, Randy?
The Toro.
The Toro. First time smoking the Toro.
First time smoking the Toro.
What do you
and
think
I
so
do
far?
like it. I do like it. Is different. It's a lot different than the Pelagroso, that Corona you're smoking. I'm going to reserve judgment just yet, but at the moment it doesn't seem like I'm liking it as much as the Corona, but I'm still early on. You're heading into your second third. I'm not even to the end of my first third yet.
Yeah. Well, this guy's it's a little guy.
But it's a little firecracker, though.
It is a little firecracker. I mean, my tongue is kind of numb right now.
In a good way.
From all that spice, it's just delicious.
Yes.
So, speaking about Westerns, Westerns and cigars just really seem to go kind of hand in hand.
And it seems like we brought them up every episode so far.
Yeah, we do. And we like Westerns, and they need to make more of them. But
more good ones, anyway.
Yeah, definitely more good ones. Mel Brooks needs to make another Western. It needs to be good.
He needs to make another good movie. It's been a little while for him.
For sure.
Well, I thought that was funny, because it seems like the Westerns have popped up in every episode for some reason, or whatever. If it is just the fact that cigars and Westerns go together, I don't know. But I was cleaning out my bedroom the other day, and I come across some old magazines, and one of them had a list of the top 10.
Playboy.
No, I was cleaning them out, not cleaning them off. Wow, we are going to be explicit now. Just joking. Having fun. Alrighty. No, so I come across this Western-like magazine, and it had a list of the top 10 gunfights in Westerns, which I thought was interesting, because usually it's top 10 Westerns, or top 10 Western actors or whatever.
Okay.
But this one is top 10 Western gunfights.
All right.
And it's the specific gunfight in a certain Western. A lot of Westerns have multiple gunfights.
Yeah.
But this will be like the big gunfight scene in the movie.
Okay.
Do you want to guess, or do you want to go down 10 to 1?
How about, okay, you've got the list, so you know what's on it. But
I know.
What is okay? Let's just go down the list and
Well,
then.
first of all, let me say this guy must have only seen one Western prior to 1965.
Oh wow.
Because
Okay.
there's only one older than 1965,
Oh wow.
and the rest are from 65 to present.
Oh okay. All right. Well, yeah. Let's go down. Let's start at 10 and go up.
10 is 310 to Yuma, the remake. They're at the train station at the end with Christian Bale and
Yeah.
Russell Crowe.
That was a good
It's a
scene.
decent gunfight. I don't know if I'd have that in my top 10. But,
I don't know if I'd have
it's
it in my top 10 either.
It's a
but-
good movie for a Western remake. I really liked it. But
Yeah, I did
okay.
too. I was pleasantly surprised. We'll say
Okay. You want to do it? Counting it down? You don't want to guess? Come on, throw out a guess.
that. Okay, you're saying it's
This
mostly
is the
new,
one. This is
mostly
the-
new stuff.
Okay,
I'm gonna
but
say
number
say
nine. Number nine. Let me tell you. Number
Well,
nine.
give me-
is old. Is the old one?
Okay.
Number
The
nine is
old
the oldest
310.
No, number 9
Okay.
is the oldest one on the list.
Okay. Is John Wayne in it?
No,
Is Jimmy Stewart in it?
no,
Is Audie Murphy in it?
no.
Who the hell's in this movie?
An actor.
An actor with a name. Is he in a lot of
well-known
westerns?
Yes.
Is
yes.
it Gene Autry?
Come on, it's a classic. It's one of the
Gary Cooper.
Gary Cooper.
Okay, so High Noon.
High Noon is number 9.
Okay.
And that's a great gunfight. There's no
Yeah.
doubt. That
That is a
really
great
good
gunfight. Okay.
But you know, I've only seen pieces of the original. I've seen the Tom Skerritt version all the way through, but I do want to go back and actually watch the entire.
Yeah, the
movie.
original was on repeat at my house because it was one of my dad's favorites. That and Shane.
Oh,
So
yeah, absolutely. Which, if you can do the math,
Mm-hmm.
means that Shane isn't on this list.
wow, what?
Is that? It's already a bogus list, I know.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
But I know.
okay,
Yeah,
so number
that's
8.
ridiculous.
So
Okay, number 8 is a movie I really like, and yeah, the gunfight is, but it's not a gunfight in the traditional Western sense, at least the way I think of a Western gunfight. I think of mano a mano, or 3 or 4 guys against 3 or 4 guys.
Yeah.
They picked the closing scene in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid when the
Yeah, limping around and stuff. And
where they basically got slaughtered. I
Yeah,
mean,
that was. You could put the Wild Bunch in there as well.
yeah,
That
there
was
was some
pretty much a
funny
slaughter.
scenes.
Yeah.
I mean, some funny dialogue in the scene, but and a lot of gunplay, but it wasn't really a fair fight. So,
No.
Number 7 is a newer one.
Is Wild Bunch in there? Am I looking?
Wild
at
Bunch is in there. It's
Okay,
later
okay.
on down the
That
list.
has to be in there somewhere. Number 7's a newer one. I'm gonna say Silverado.
No, did not make the list.
Did not
But I'm
make the list,
wondering
okay.
what gunfight would have been in Silverado that
Yeah.
you picked.
But
But close. You're close. One of the big actors is in
Okay,
Open
so
Range. Open Range is number 7.
Open Range is number 7. Really? That far down the list?
I would have it higher on my list.
I would have it higher on
that's
the
one.
list,
It's
too,
got to
yeah.
be the longest gunfight in
Yeah,
any
it's like
Western
15
history.
minutes or
Yeah,
something.
At least.
Yeah, it's awesome.
At least. Great gun.
That's the Open Range is the. If you haven't seen Open Range, number 1, see it. It's
Yes.
a great movie, great Western, and that gunfight in Open Range is the Western equivalent of the gunfight in Heat.
Yes.
I would say.
I think it's the best choreographed gunfight in Western history. I mean, just
Yeah.
the logistics and the details, and I love the planning aspect of it before they, even started the fight.
Yeah.
We don't want to give any spoilers or anything because you do need to see this
Yeah,
movie.
definitely watch the movie if you haven't seen it. Go buy it on DVD or Blu-ray. I know it's available on Blu-ray now. Yes.
Yes, it is. Number 6.
Give me a hint.
I can
Don't tell me.
understand. I can understand. Okay, it's
Newer?
relatively
Older?
newer. 90s.
Have we mentioned it yet?
No.
Unforgiven?
Maybe later on, but it's not number 6.
Is it a Clint Eastwood movie?
No.
Is it...
It's a movie we've ridiculed a few times already.
Oh, Quick and the Dead?
Oh, and we haven't ridiculed it that much.
Okay, I was going to say it better not be
Classic.
Quick and the Dead.
It's a
I'm going to say... crap,
Come on.
It's on the tip
True
of my
story,
tongue. Hold
true
on.
story.
Yeah, I know. Man Who Shot Liberty Valance.
No, that did not come out in the 90s.
No? Oh, 90s. I didn't hear you say 90s.
said
I'm sorry.
90s.
We ridiculed it?
We've ridiculed this.
Tombstone.
Now,
Okay.
I can understand to a certain degree because they are just picking the gunfight, and
Yeah,
it is one
okay.
of the greatest gunfights ever. And Tombstone gets it pretty right, except for the last time I checked, a side-by-side shotgun does not shoot 3 times. And that happens. I understand why it was a poor editing job, but
Yeah.
still, you see a shotgun get shot 3 times. So.
Yeah.
And I think Doc Holly shoots like 19 times.
Yeah. I believe so.
But okay, if you're going to pick one of the two, I guess that's the one to pick.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 5, great one.
Okay.
I'm not even going to let you guess because I know it's going to please you when I tell you about this one.
Okay.
Once Upon a Time in the West, the
Oh,
train scene
yeah.
with Bronson
Heck
and the
yeah.
harmonica.
Awesome. I was going to get mad if that wasn't on there.
Oh,
actually.
man, I love it, because he's still holding like his luggage or something or
Uh-huh.
whatever. And Elam just has that snarly smile. He's
Yep.
getting ready and just boom. Awesome. Great scene. Speaking
awesome
of
scene.
Bronson, you know, Bronson was considered for the spaghetti westerns. Sergio Leone was considering him
Oh yeah.
and went with Eastwood, and that's why he did Once Upon a Time in the West, so he could actually work with Charles Bronson.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
Number 4, I have not seen, and you mentioned it the other day, Django, the original. And it was the scene where he has like this cannon gun.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Do you know this scene?
Yeah, I know the scene. Yeah.
Would that be on your list?
I don't know. I mean, it's Django. Django is kind of a throwaway western for me.
It looked very throwaway. From
Yeah,
what I
it was.
saw.
I mean, it had merit in that it was a spaghetti western and it did play pretty well here, but it's not a great spaghetti western.
Right.
And it's one of those.
Who was
ones
the main
that
guy? He looked like Lee Majors or something, but it wasn't him.
Franco Nero.
Franco Nero. Okay.
Yeah, he was in that King Arthur with Camelot. He was.
Oh, okay. I know who you're talking about.
Can't sing for crap. Shouldn't have been in Camelot. But neither can Richard Harris. So
True.
Unless
And
he's
he had a
singing
hit.
unless he's singing about Cake in the Rain. Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
if you leave it Cake in the Rain, you want Richard Harris to sing about it.
There you go. Yeah.
All
But
right,
he can't now because he's dead. So.
That's true. Wild Bunch, number 3. The Suicide
okay.
Mission was the...
Yeah.
One of the original bloody gunfights.
Yeah, that's Sam Peckinpah, man. He's just,
yeah.
He owns
So
that.
I like the opening gunfight better than the Suicide one. I think that was a much more traditional Western gunfight.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Number 2, I'm not the biggest fan of this movie. I do like it. But the scene they picked is great. The graveyard scene in Good, Bad, and the Ugly.
Okay. Yeah.
Great scene.
Yeah. But see, and again, that when you talk about gunfights, that is literally 1-2 shots. It's like, it's basically guys staring at each other for 10 minutes and then there's one shot. And that's it.
Right.
So it's not much of a gunfight. I was kind of like, if that's on the list, I'm kind of like,
so I don't, like I said, I think it's a great scene.
Yeah.
I don't know that would be on my list.
It's an iconic scene,
Yeah.
but it's not necessarily a great gunfight. That's
And
my 2 cents on that.
I agree wholeheartedly. And then number 1, Unforgiven. But once again, is that really a gunfight? He kind of comes in and ambushes them, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, they get some shots fired, but not till 2 people have already been killed. But it's a great scene. I won't discount the scene. But so there's the list. We'll go back down 10, 3:10 to Yuma. Number 9, High Noon. Number 8, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Number 7, Open Range. Number 6, Tombstone. Number 5, Once Upon a Time in the West. Number 4, Django. Number 3, The Wild Bunch.
Wow.
Number 2, Good, Bad, and the Ugly. Number 1, Unforgiven. Okay, now it's time to rip the list apart. No shame. The gunfight between Alan Ladd and Jack Palance is one of the classic gunfight scenes ever. It's one of the greatest scenes in movie history, not just Western history.
Yeah.
How do you not have Shane on this list?
Yeah. I don't know about that either. That's pretty.
You see any other glaring omissions that you would pick?
I
like that closing gunfight scene in The Shootist. John Wayne's last movie.
Yeah.
It's a great in the saloon there. That's a great gunfight.
That is a great gunfight. Yeah.
And then, so if I were to do my top 5, Shane would be number 1. Open Range might be 2.
Yeah.
The Shootist would be 3.
Okay. See, I just looked up AMC's list.
Okay.
They have Quick and the Dead in theirs.
Are you serious? Which one? Well, I know because there were a lot of gunfights in that movie.
Okay, so you got their number 1 is Open Range.
Oh, really?
Which
Okay.
and
I can agree with that.
Yeah, it says Kevin Costner and Robert Duvall take a land baron and 6. Well, that's just a description. 15-minute gunfight. I was right. 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's great.
Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is number 2, which again, not much of a gunfight. Unforgiven's number 3. Tombstone's number 4. The Shootist is number 5.
Good.
Excellent.
Deal.
Okay,
Good.
So they got a pretty decent. Butch Cassidy's number 6.
I still don't get that.
Yeah, that's still, and it even says bleeding and limping, leaping headlong into death. Picture freezes, captures them in fearlessness. Yeah, that's okay.
But doesn't make it a good gunfight.
High Noon's number 7. The Wild Bunch number 8. Once Upon a Time in the West is number 9. And Quick and the Dead is number 10.
Quick and the Dead.
When
they don't even have Shane.
Sharon Stone guns down her father's killer, Gene Hackman.
They don't even have Shane in that one.
No, and that had the ridiculously stupid thing where you can see through the person's head, and then he does the triple backflip. I'm like, really? Which there's a story behind. Should I tell that story?
Yeah, go ahead. It's a great.
So there's a story behind Quick and the Dead that Gene Hackman wanted to make a movie because it was a Western and did not see eye to eye with Sam Raimi. That they just basically butted heads with everything.
The director, obviously.
The director of Quick and the Dead, who also did Evil Dead, and he's this new hip director who is doing something different with the camera and all these quick cuts and all this craziness, and he wanted to direct Western because he loved Westerns too,
right?
Spaghetti Westerns, and that's what he wanted to do. Well, Gene Hackman and him just didn't see eye to eye so much to the point where Gene Hackman basically said, I'm not working with you. I'll work with the second unit guy. Anything that you're directing, I'm not working on it.
I love Gene Hackman.
Yeah, so he's just a badass.
He's such a badass.
He's one of the Hollywood badasses that
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if you're ever gonna if you're a robber and you break into a house and Gene Hackman walks out, turn around and
Just
leave
go.
because
Go
you
home.
will die. He will shoot you, or he will stare you down and you'll just explode. But
Yes.
he's just a badass. So they didn't end up shooting together, and when they got to the final scene, Gene Hackman wasn't even there on the day of the set when he was doing the shootout with Sharon Stone. So he actually, if you look at the scene, he uses a double on any shot that you don't see a close up of Gene Hackman. It's someone else's back. It's the double, and that's why you have that ridiculous, stupid death of him doing triple backflips and stuff, because it was his way of saying "fuck you, Gene Hackman." So, and I think Gene Hackman. There was even rumored tell that Gene Hackman never even saw the movie because he was just so at odds with the director.
I wanted to like that movie, and Sharon Stone still looked good back then, and it was a Western. And it had Gene Hackman in it, so I'm in. But, it had Leonardo DiCaprio, pre-badass Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, there was still
kind of
whiny, snot-nosed kid.
Yeah, the kid from Growing Pains.
Yeah. It's just, why am I watching this kid instead of, the guy that's the preacher who ends up being Russell Crowe and doesn't do anything in the movie. It's just wasted on the floor the whole time.
Yeah, he gets to make out with Sharon Stone, though.
Yeah, that's about
I guess
it,
he had some bonus there.
Yeah.
But who would have thought... Who would have thought that Leonardo would be the biggest star to have come out of that movie?
I know, right?
And
Sharon Stone was
close.
Sharon Stone was hot for a while there, and then
huge there
just
for a
picked
while.
a bunch of bad movies.
Yeah, she did.
Probably started with Quick and the Dead.
And then she did that one with Stallone. Did you see that?
Oh,
that
The
one
Specialist.
That was terrible.
Horrible.
It's one of the worst movies ever.
It is one of the worst movies ever. But if it's on and there happens to be a scene with James Woods in it, I'll watch it just for him because he's hilarious in the movie.
Bad guy.
He is hilarious. And another story about movies. So James Woods is a big improv guy, and any scene that he was in, he would basically throw the script, just throw it out, just make up his own lines. And he has this great scene in the movie, and it's he's supposed to be this horrible criminal that's like really bad guy, blah blah blah. And there's a scene when him and his thugs are like walking towards the elevator, and they get in the elevator, and he turns around, and this like fat guy who's an extra is supposed to walk in the elevator, and they're supposed to have a scene with him. But James Woods like pushes him out. He's like, no, go away, buy a new shirt. And like the elevator closes, and that's the scene. Basically, cut the dude out of the scene because he didn't like his shirt. I'm like, that's freaking awesome. That's totally awesome. James Woods right there.
That's why they named a school for him in Quahog.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. He's awesome. I love it. The James Woods is another. Let's talk about Hollywood badasses. That's a topic right there.
Typical Hollywood badass. Well, Gene Hackman, of course.
Gene Hackman's definitely one.
Nicholson kind of has a little bit of that.
Nicholson has the bad boy thing going on.
Yeah, you'd be intimidated by him if he gave you a look.
Yeah,
you'd back
especially if he peed on the floor next to you and said it was
Russell
his territory.
Exactly. Russell Crowe's considered a badass, I guess.
Yeah. He's a bar brawling guy. Yeah, he's one of those guys.
Yeah.
I think that's the problem with Hollywood now, though, is there's not that many of those guys around. They're mostly, if you've noticed, mostly older guys we're naming.
Right.
All the new guys that are out there acting like Tobey Maguire. Give me a break. That guy's not a badass.
Exactly.
He was barely Spider-Man.
Barely. Yeah, they've tried to get Brad Pitt to be in that, but you can't really take Brad Pitt seriously as a badass. He's a good actor, I guess, but he's not. He just doesn't have. Matthew McConaughey has the potential to be that now if he can continue in the roles he's been picking as opposed to the previous shirtless roles.
Like Killer Joe and
Killer
stuff
Joe
like that.
Killer Joe is great.
Yeah, but he's still got that.
I know that
like
laid
Matthew
back.
McConaughey. How's it going, guys? He's got that
going,
whole laid back Texas guy thing.
He kind of has that Paul Newman look to him, so he could. He could pull it off if he wanted to. I would think, but Newman was a badass in real life. But,
Newman raced cars and all kinds of cool. Made
James
salad
Garner.
dressing.
James Garner is a Hollywood badass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to get in an argument with him.
And who's one of the new? So the newer ones we got Russell Crowe, and then a semi-newer Hollywood badass, and there's one guy that's pretty supposed to be a badass, but I never buy him in most of the roles he's been in. Colin Farrell.
He has moments, but speaking of Colin Farrell, Kiefer Sutherland can be a badass.
Yeah, Kiefer Sutherland.
He can be a badass. Not know if
he's
he is
a
in real
partier.
life, but he can.
No, he's had some run-ins with the law from
yeah.
partying and punching people out and stuff. So yeah, he's a badass.
He's a badass, but he's still in his 40s. So.
Yeah.
But.
So where do you think about the cigar so far?
Oh,
on
this, it's a great cigar. It's not really picking up the way I wanted it to. I still think I'm going to go back to the smaller ring gauge. But believe me, I'm enjoying the smoke. It's a very good cigar.
I'm about at the end of right at the middle of the second third. We're going to go ahead and take a break, though, on this, and we'll come back for the last third. All right. All right. We are back with the last third of the Joya de Nicaragua Dark Corojo. I am smoking the Corona, and Randy is smoking the Toro for the first time. Thoughts
Tasty.
on the Toro?
It's very good smoke. Very good flavor. I'm not getting near the pepper I get on the Corona size, but I really like this. I will smoke it again, but it'll be after several of the Robusto or Coronas.
Yeah. So you have had the Robusto?
Yes,
though.
I love the Robusto.
Okay. See, I don't think I've had the Robusto. I've only had the Corona and the...
And the Robusto is called the Azarosa or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah. Weird names that they come up with for the cigars.
But very nice smoke.
Yep. Now, do you prefer this over the Antano 1970?
I do, but I've been a 1970s an Antano fan forever. Remember that cigar that we were trying to get people to find for us, which no one did. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
The Joya de Nicaragua Series C.
Yeah,
I've been
thanks a lot, jackasses.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you. We were counting on you guys.
We're hoping on those people in Chile to come up with some.
Exactly.
Right.
We're going to be talking to Jonathan Drew in a few weeks. We need to.
Yeah, we do need to
see
talk.
if he has any backstock.
Yeah, we'll just corner him over at the event and say, "Hey, man, hook us up with some C's, buddy."
Exactly. So I've always been a fan of the Antano and most Joya de Nicaragua. The Classico line, it's a good cigar. The Claro, it's a good cigar. For newbies that want to get into Joya de Nicaragua that don't want to start with the stronger stuff, that's a great place to start.
Talking about the Cabinetta or whatever?
No, it's the Classico series.
Oh, okay.
And they have a Claro with Connecticut. And they also have a Criollo, I think, that's a little spicier.
Okay.
But for as long as I've been smoking, I'm past that point. But I like the Cabinetta a lot. The Antano, obviously, the Dark Corojo, obviously. Just about anything I've had, by the way, to Nicaragua has been a thumbs up.
Yeah. And that's one thing about them that I love is the consistency. I've never had one that fell apart on me or that had a bad burn. They're just, from top to bottom, they're well-made cigars.
Right.
At a decent price, taste great. They're great go-to everyday cigars.
Without a doubt. And speaking of Lanceros that you were talking about earlier, that 1970 Antano Lancero is a stick of dynamite. That is an excellent smoke. You've not had one.
No, I have one. I haven't smoked it yet.
You haven't smoked it yet.
I've got that.
We had a tragic story here at the store where a box accidentally got rained on.
Oh, no.
Of the Lanceros, and Matt was throwing them away. We haven't mentioned Matt, by the way. Matt's probably going to be on next week's episode with us. In a week or two. Anyway, he's up and about more. He's more steady on his feet and a lot less pain. So it's good to have him
for
back.
For those coming into the first episode here with us. Matt Badowski is the owner operator of the Calypso Cigar Shop and Lounge.
Right.
And it's Matt Badowski.
Badowski. No W.
Not Badowski, like I've been saying.
Yes.
And if he was here, he'd probably slap me for saying it wrong, but it is Matt Badowski.
Matt Badowski. And we're at the Calypso Cigar Shop and Lounge in Richardson, Texas.
And if you want to give us a call and order some stuff like the Dark Corojo, you can call
972-761-9903. And within a few weeks, the website will be up and running, make it a lot easier for you guys to go online, place your order through a secure credit card processing company, and everything will be fine. We'll look forward to shipping you your product.
And meantime, you can contact us by phone, or you can also go on to the Facebook page and shoot us an email there or whatever, and we'll get in contact with you. And if you are looking for older episodes or new episodes of the podcast, we are on Spreaker, Podomatic, iTunes, twice on iTunes. We're on there from Slam Internet Radio and on our own. And you can also view the video slideshow version of the podcast on YouTube. Don't forget to give us those comments. Let us know what you think, what you want us to review, and ideas for the podcast. And I'll be going on to random, I say random, I'll be going to the cigar forums that I frequent, like Cigar Aficionado, StogieFriends.com, BOTL, and Cigar Asylum, and posting up little things about hey, we're going to be doing this show next week with this particular rep. Any questions for them? Or, let's do a poll about which cigar you think is best in this price range. And you guys can help us basically, develop content for the show that way. So please participate if you see me in there asking questions. It would be much appreciated.
That'll be fun.
Yep.
So we talked about Western gunfights. during the break, we kind of started talking about some other gunfights that weren't in westerns, but they're just great Hollywood gunfights.
There's a lot
Can
of
you think of a few? I mean, one that pops into my head: the train station scene and Untouchables, the slow motion. You know, when I was a kid, a teenager when that came out, I hated that slow motion scene. I wanted to see it live and in full speed and everything.
Yeah.
But as I've watched it since, I love that they did it in slow motion. You got to see so many details that. Andy Garcia sliding across the floor and stopping the baby carriage. Just a great scene.
Yeah, I think it's
shootout.
one of those things that as you get older, I think you have more of an appreciation for it. It's the in the moment, like if you've ever been in an intense situation, like I've been in a car crash or anything, that it feels like you're going in slow motion. So it's very representative of that.
Yep.
And every once in a while, cinema catches those type of things and they capture it and put it on screen. It's awesome, and that's one of those awesome moments.
Absolutely.
Another guy that uses slow motion to his advantage, probably too much, is John Woo.
Okay.
And when he first started out over in Hong Kong,
Woo-hoo?
before he did, John Woo. Not Woohoo, John Woo.
Woohoo?
Woo. Did a movie called The Killer with Chow Yun-fat. And that was one of those first movies where you see people blazing guns, with two guns. And he did the whole slide down the banister thing and shooting people left and right and stuff flying everywhere.
Yep.
And that has some great shootouts. I mean, the whole movie's practically a shootout.
Right.
And you can even go with Face Off, the Face Off shootout with.
Oh, that's a good. It's a popcorn movie. It's not one of my all-time favorite movies, but there's some good action.
There's some
in
great shootout in there with. It's one of those shootouts where you're like, okay, they've gone through probably 12 clips and no one's hit anybody yet. When are they gonna freaking hit something besides a bird or paper?
Right.
Because it's flying everywhere. But it's still cool that they, expelled that much ammunition throughout the scene.
Exactly.
And that's what you're looking for in those. And
you mentioned the Heat.
yeah, Heat. The Heat's that scene in
great
Heat
one.
is ridiculous. That bank robbery scene is just
that's
off
awesome.
the charts, awesome. And that's one of those movies that if you're a guy, and it's on TV and it's anywhere near that scene, you'll wait 30 minutes to get that scene.
You want the payoff on that
Yeah.
one. Absolutely.
That's one of those ones where I'll sit there and I'll watch it on TV. My wife's like, "You have it on DVD. Why don't you just pop the DVD?" I'm like, "Oh, it's coming up."
I'm going to build into it.
Yeah, and then you watch it on TV and you're like, "Crap, they edited the crap out of it. I got to go put the DVD in now."
That's awesome. You have a list there?
Yeah, I do have a list. I found a list online here, and they've got some pretty good stuff listed. A couple we've already mentioned. They got Boondock Saints, which there's a bunch of them in that movie. But yeah, that's got some good gunfights in it. And Boondock Saints very much kind of captured some of the Quentin Tarantino feel
And there's
mixed
a
with the
scene
John
where
Woo
he
thing.
yells, "I'm Wyatt Earp" or something. That's kind of a cool scene.
Yeah,
That's a
there's some
scene.
cool scenes in that. And I like the scene with Willem Dafoe where he's recreating where he's talking about what he thinks happened. That was a great scene.
That's my brother's favorite movie of all time.
Really?
Is Boondock Saints, yes.
I don't know.
And in any fantasy football league or whatever we're in, that's his team name, the Boondock
yeah.
Saints. Oh, yeah.
They listed a couple of weird ones here. I'm like, really? Like Dick Tracy? I don't remember.
I don't even remember a gunfight in that.
Yeah, I don't remember a gunfight in that either. Besides Al Pacino just shooting the Tommy gun, that's really all I remember from that movie.
I just remember that weird
Makeup and stuff that he had.
that
was a weird movie.
I was looking forward to it. When I heard about it and everything, and I saw like 10 minutes of it, and I was like, I'm out.
Yeah, they did list The Killer, so that was there. Tombstone, which we talked about already. Road to Perdition.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's a good movie. It's underrated. I don't think it gets the credit it deserves for, in the gangster lore.
Yep. Yeah, they talked about
there's
the scene when, we're spoiler alert here if you haven't seen it, when the mob boss, Paul Newman's bodyguards are all dead, Tom Hanks emerges from the shadows, and there's a scene with almost no dialogue, and it's
he
cool
says
scene.
something to the effect of, "I'm glad it was you."
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got
It's a great movie.
Untouchables, which we mentioned already, Open Range, which we did also mention, The Professional, which I'm trying to think of where there was a massive shootout in that movie.
I don't recall.
I remember Gary Oldman walking through and killing her family and stuff, but I don't remember. I guess there's the one at the end
Yeah.
when he goes to get her and he's
Right.
killing all those guys. That's pretty cool. And then number one on their list was Scarface, which I'm assuming is the Say Hello to My Little Friend
Say Hello to My Little
scene.
Friend.
Yeah.
There's one that's escaping me, and I can't believe that I can't remember this one.
Is it old movie, new movie?
It was an Eastwood movie. The Dirty Punk. What's a Dirty Harry movie?
Dirty Harry movie? Which one?
Well, it's
Dirty
not really a
Harry?
gunfight, but the scene with the
Have I got, how
five
many,
shots.
yeah.
Five shots.
Feel
or
Lucky
six.
Punk,
Yeah,
that
Feel
one,
Lucky Punk. Yeah. That's not really a gun. Well, it started out as a gunfight. Yeah. That's a great scene.
Yeah.
And
there's so many. I mean,
it's
Hollywood's, been doing gunfights.
and I'm sure our listeners will fill us in on some
They've been doing
obvious ones that we've missed.
Gunfights over the years.
Speaking of obvious, remember last week when we were talking about remakes and I said there was a Western remake that I couldn't remember? Duh. True Grit.
Oh, yeah.
All it did was win awards and everything. And it's a Coen Brothers, which is, we're big Coen Brothers fans to begin with.
Yep.
Oh, there's some good gunfights in a lot of Coen Brothers movies. No Country for Old Men's got a good one.
Did Miller's Crossing have one,
Miller's
too?
Crossing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good. They're good for a good gunfighter, too.
Yeah, for sure, yeah. I definitely like the Coen Brothers stuff, and they've got a good style to what they do. More so than a lot of directors really, I think, put into it nowadays. They've got a cerebral style.
This is really starting to taste good, by the way. I mean,
oh yeah, it's kicking in a little bit more.
It's not the spiciness that I like in the Corona size, but it just has a lot of flavor.
Cool.
Just some yummy flavor.
Excellent. Okay, they mentioned Terminator 2.
Okay.
Yeah, Arnold with the big Gatling gun blowing everybody away.
Okay.
Shoot 'em up. God.
Wow.
You seen Shoot 'em up?
Yeah.
That's
been a long time.
Goofy movie. But
it's been a long time.
I have a thought on that movie. If you haven't seen Shoot 'em up, and you like Looney Tunes, watch Shoot 'em up because it's basically a live action Looney Tunes.
Okay, you're right.
Because he's always got a carrot.
Yeah.
And he like stabs a guy in the eye with a carrot. And he even what's his name? Paul Giamatti's basically Elmer Fudd.
Okay.
He even says "What's up, Doc?" to him in one line.
Really?
Yeah, it's basically
Yeah. It is a Looney Tunes movie.
It is a Looney Tunes.
A live action one.
Live action Looney Tunes.
Speaking of which, did you ever see this movie came out in the 70s with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Kirk Douglas and Anne Margaret? It was called The Villain.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
comedy, a bad comedy
western.
Yeah.
You know what it is, though? It's Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner. That's that movie. It is just a live action western version of the Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner.
Yep. I can totally see that.
And I think it's funny. As a kid, I haven't seen it in 25 years, but as a kid, I thought it was hilarious. And Anne Margaret was in it, and you can see a lot of booby cleavage. So there, it makes it a good movie.
Always a good thing with Anne Margaret.
It's a good movie.
So we missed a major one, and this was kind of iconic as well. The Matrix, the scene when they walk into the thing and just blow the crap out of everybody.
Yeah.
With that cool song playing. And then they've got also listed, which I can't believe I forgot about this one, but it's not a really known movie, Equilibrium. The opening scene in Equilibrium with Christian Bale. You haven't seen that?
No.
What?
I need to see that.
It's an independent sci-fi movie, which didn't really do a whole lot at the box office, but it got some, people liked it afterwards and became a cult movie. But there's a scene that, well, first off, they have a thing in the movie called gun kata. Okay. So they basically developed a martial arts with guns, where they do like martial art moves, and they have two guns, and they're sitting there, shooting crazy. And there's a scene in the beginning of the movie when he basically, there's a building that's been taken over by terrorists or something, and he has to go in there and fight them, and he basically hauls butt down this hallway, kicks this door open, and it's complete darkness in there, and you just see flashes of gunfire going, and it's people just dying left and right, and it's pretty epic. It's really cool.
Cool. I need to see it. Equilibrium. Equilibrium. Christian Bale.
I've got it. I'll let you borrow it.
Okay. Cool.
Save you the rental.
So
we are coming up on the end of the Dark Corojo. I'm kind of sad.
You've got to try it. If you haven't tried it yet, get one. If you've had one before and it's been a while, revisit it. It's a great smoke. It's full of flavor, well constructed, puts out a lot of smoke. It's just, I don't know.
It's definitely a clear winner. And you guys going to do any kind of promo this week for the Dark Corojo?
Yeah, we'll do buy four get five. Buy four get a fifth one for free.
Okay.
Any size. And we carry it in the Robusto, the Corona, and the Toro.
Yep, but we're going to be out of Corona because we're going to smoke them all.
Well, no, because that's Matt's new favorite, so he keeps us pretty stocked on those. Okay, so just call 972-761-9903 and take advantage of the special.
Yep, for sure.
And I must say, we can go ahead. If you're listening to any podcast and you hear the special, if we still have that cigar or that, the quantity available, you can still take advantage of any special you've heard on a podcast previously.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Excellent. So definitely do that, guys. And if you're listening to us on Podomatic or if you're listening to us on iTunes or whatever, give us those comments. Do the review. Give us the 5 stars. Helps us move up the list there. I've noticed on iTunes we moved from the second or third page on the cigar reviews to page number 1, which is great. So all of you guys out there.
Podomatic, we're number 4 in our category.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Number 4.
We're moving up the ranks, and we're not even 10 episodes in, so we want to thank you guys for that.
Absolutely.
And look out for me on the forums. If you're on the Cigar Forums, BOTL, Stogie Friends, Cigar Aficionado, Cigar Asylum, I'm in there all the time posting, and I'll post some questions out there for you guys and some polls, and you guys can partake and help us with the show. and we very much appreciate that. So keep listening.
Keep listening. Number Nueve
Yep.
next week.
Number Nueve next week, and we always love smoking with you, so come back.